Ooh, this is a really good one. Do you want to ask the final question?
Well, you can do it if you're really excited about it. We can start off the episode with us talking about who's going to ask a question. That'll be a good start.
Okay, well, I like the question, so I want to ask the
You
question.
you got it.
Thank you. That was easier than I anticipated.
How do credits? Oh.
Stop. No.
Wow. Wow.
Someone take his microphone away. Just kidding. He's in charge of them. Okay, I like this one because it kind of encompasses a lot of what we talk about when it comes to credit. But how do credit scores fit into bigger goals like buying a car and a home? I'm curious how you're going to answer this because, like, I have in my head what I would kind of answer. So I'm just curious.
Yeah, it depends, right?
Yeah.
It's huge. It's hugely dependent on what you're trying to do. So, in the auto market, there's a huge landscape of financiers. You'll have probably heard of prime or subprime lenders, right? Subprime lenders get a bad rap, but occasionally, often, frequently, you could even say they serve a purpose. So you really hurt your credit in some way, whether it was your fault or not, relationship based, work based, layoff based, however that happened, your credit isn't in a great space. That's when maybe a subprime lender comes into play. Now, you don't want a predatory subprime lender, someone who is has a rate of 147% and is really out there to hurt you. But say you're buying a vehicle at a dealership, they work with subprime lenders that are regulated, right? That they're normal lenders. They just have higher rates to cover for the fact that maybe your credit is imperfect at this time. It will almost always come with a higher rate, though. You're probably maybe not walking out with the term you wanted. Your payment's probably going to be higher, and that's to equate for what we perceive as risk in your credit report. So inevitably, it'll drive your payment amount, what your score is, and what you can qualify for, and what term you can qualify for, and occasionally even what vehicle you can qualify for, because you maybe can't buy a $100,000 vehicle anymore. Mortgage-wise, there is a score that you usually need to qualify for in order to qualify for a mortgage. It's usually in the 640 land. But it also depends, and this conversation could go on forever and ever because there are multiple bureaus that we use for lending. There are 3 of them. Mortgages usually use a blend of all 3 to kind of take the average. Here at Royal, we use TransUnion. That is one. There are 2 others. So it kind of depends on what bureau you're using, what rate they're using, and what you can qualify for inevitably. But shortest, sweetest answer, your score will drive your rate and your term.
That's how I would have answered, like short, rates. I always tell people they kind of define the bucket that you're in for what your rate's going to be. But there's so much more with that credit report that makes the actual lending decision.
Yeah.
So I really like that you talked about those subprime borrowers because I think our initial reaction as financials is to say, do not use them, right? What the reality is, though, sometimes it's more comfortable to go there than try and explain to your financial. And everything can be a tool if you use it correctly, right? So you can refinance from those lenders. I know we've, cut rates in half before. But Caitlin, do you have a good, I don't know if you can give one, but like a good rule of thumb on when looking at those subprime lenders, what is an interest rate that could determine a predatory lender or one that, is not going to probably put us on the, right track or be on our best side of helpful? Do you have any quick tips or rules of thumb with that one?
I would say once you're heading into, and auto loans specifically, right? Because we know Capital One, we know, some of those credit card lenders, they are high. They're in the 36 percentages, things like that. Once you're heading towards that 30%, that's a place to pause and go, does this make sense? Should I go check Google reviews? Is this a company that feels like they're doing the right thing for me? Credit acceptance is a great one, right? They're kind of more of a subprime lender, but they're not a predatory lender. They make sure they have good things in their program. Like, for instance, you might not end up with the exact vehicle you wanted because they have an LTV cap. They want to make sure that you're not adding super high negative equity to your vehicle so that if it does need to be repaired, if we do need to do things with it, there are levers to pull. Once you have so much negative equity, there isn't a lot of space to add more to fix it, right? So credit acceptance is a great one. The interest rate might be higher. It might be in the 15s, the 18s, the 20s, but it's most likely because your credit has taken some damage, and this is who can help you right now. And really, you just need a vehicle. And if the payment works, that's totally okay.
Mhm.
Go there, get your vehicle. You're going to make higher payments, but in 12 months, refinance back with us, and it'll feel great, right? It'll help you build your credit. You'll get the vehicle, you can get to work,
Mhm.
and you can make that payment. So there is a space for them. They aren't always predatory.
That was really good. I think we haven't talked too much about that, but I feel like that's a good nugget. So
Thanks.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
thank you.